but I see that there's a big divide in terms of like the training industry of guys that would rather focus on tactics training versus guys that want to focus on like hard skill side of training, right? Am I crazy thinking that that is a divide, or that you
it's
see
completely different?
that
And
kind
it's
of
a
value
dodge.
two
I
different
think it's a
things?
dodge, because you can't really. I mean, if you're doing stupid shit, which people do, you can critique, tactics and say that won't work. But for the most part, you can get away with stupid bullshit. You can't do it when you're shooting. You can either shoot or you can't. You can either, hard skills are quantifiable, and so they hide from the things that are quantifiable, and they hide in the things that are abstract, or they hit you with it needs context. That's what I see.
So yeah, go ahead, Ben.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to reference there's been a little bit of that. I know that I'll send out a spicy Instagram story, or Matt will, oftentimes, sometimes Mike, almost never Chris, because he's kind of lame on the internet. Real life Chris is cool. But I'll let it rip, and then you get back like walls of bullshit about, oh, you got to understand the context of this or that happening. And it's like, dude, whatever the fuck. Like, I was just sharing your video because I thought because it made me laugh for whatever reason. So I think it might make other people laugh too. And I want to share the laughter. I want to share joy.
Servant's heart.
That's what I want to do.
Sure.
Yeah, but you can always tell when you have a very concise communication and then somebody's like just walls of bullshit. It's like, yeah, okay, never mind.
It becomes clear pretty quick, right? I'm gonna give you that one. So here's my try to be nice way of looking at it, right? I don't know if there is a divide. I think there are people who not necessarily lack a super competent skill set, but they know they can't perform at the level I think maybe a student would expect of them when it comes to the hard skills, the demonstrable skill sets. So they fall back onto something that they can do in a concept or in context. They can make it make sense, and they can form scenarios and form even positioning in a room to make whatever it is they're trying to teach make sense and be believable. And if you come in at a base level of hardly knowing anything, and you have someone demonstrate a room entry technique, and here's why we do it this way, then all of a sudden you're like, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about. But I give them credit for trying to teach what they kind of know, but they leave that piece off about how important the hard skills are to actually support what you're trying to get them to do. And that's where I think the divide is. It's not that, well, this guy teaches tactics. Yeah, he shouldn't be teaching shooting, but he's teaching tactics without referencing the necessity of shooting.
And I see that the same way. Ben, let me ask you this, all right? You're going to do a competition-based class, right? It's only for competition. And the focus of the class is going to be stage planning. No, but someone needs this. They need that. We need to know how to run these stages. We need to know the plan, the thought process, and everything. Do you teach that class with ignoring the
No, actually,
part?
that's actually, yeah, it is. It's actually, now that I think about it, that's literally impossible, because we'd look at the stage and say like, yep, let's look at, here's how the stage breaks out. And it's like, now you have to decide, or you have to understand your abilities. Like, hey, I'm going to roll in here, shoot these targets while I'm moving. I'm going to roll out shooting them while I'm moving, whatever. It's like, if your skills don't support that, then you need to make the choice to not do that thing, because that's going to fuck up your scores. That's going to be bad for you, dude, in a competition setting.
Same fucking thing.
Yeah. So this is why, it's I know a lot of times I think guys may watch this, and I know, Ben, like, to your credit, like, sometimes we had this conversation earlier where you're like, the tactics, I don't want to give my 2 cents. And I'm like, nope, it needs to be there because the parallels are all there, right? We're not talking about specific tactics, but we're talking about the training side of it. And guys that do that, where it's like, oh, well, we're focusing on tactics. The tactics are propped up by one thing and one thing only. And it's what the individual guys, the collective group of guys can do in terms of
tactics are intended to deliver you.
Right?
or
what
to
I
bring you
believe.
to a point where you can deliver the hard skills. That's the whole point. It gets us in position to do the hard skill part. But if you've got no hard skills, then the tactics sort of make sense. In fact, what Ben's saying about a stage, the stage is driven, if I understand it correctly, how you come up with a stage plan is based on your skills, so your hard skills. So I have to, and that's the whole point. I mean, that's what, like, the hard skills are what drive
Yeah.
the plan, the strategy, the tactics.
So what?
It's all the fucking
Yeah.
same. Like
Yeah. What I say to people, Mike,
So-
to that is like, you're going to go to all the places and you got to shoot all the stuff. And then around the edges, you modify that based on your skill set, where you're comfortable moving, where you're not, what level of confirmation do you need, given the way the targets are. Like, you have to apply your skills to the scenario the best way you can.
That's exactly what that's tactics.
Right.
It's a strategy.
So-
It's solving a problem. It's got so much overlap because, again, you're planning how you're going to go to all the places and shoot all the things based on what you're capable of doing. It's just like tactics are solving that problem to get you in a position to deliver the hard skills. And I think that's where guys miss the point. Tactics are intended to get you to the place where you can deliver the hard skills. And if you don't have hard skills, yeah.
Sure. And then, and then to add a little more to that, it's like you have to understand context. So when you're just doing training in a benign, controlled environment where all the conditions are in your favor, as I hear Matt say, you'll get some idea in your head of what your capabilities are. But when you actually go shoot a match, you have to understand, no, it's going to be cold, on-demand performance, and you have to really understand what that means and attack that in a way that you can actually execute in an on-demand sort of fashion.